Well, good day, folks, and welcome into a presentation today on looking at how the music makes the story in the Pokemon box chapter. And what I'm going to do today is try to give you an idea of how the music played. So, in order to do this, I'm going to start by saying that are we truly just going to Houston? Are we just going to Houston? Maybe we're not going to the city of Houston, but we're going to the statue of Houston. And in order to do this, let's look at sharing the screen and looking at David Adicky's. Now, the reason I'm doing this is the Coltrane reference comes up at some point in the information about the trip to Houston. And David Pryor Adicky's is an American modern and painter. His most famous work is a 67-foot tall statue called A Tribute to Courage. And it's a statue of Sam Houston that sits in Huntsville, Texas. And sadly, David passed away last July. The last time I researched this information, I actually think he was still alive and he was doing interviews. But let's say, how do we incorporate France into our solve? Well, in 1949, Adicky's traveled to France to study under Fernand Léger. After 2 years, he returned to Texas and began presenting his work. At this time, he was commissioned to paint a large historical mural of the city of Houston. He was a full-time painter and art instructor for more than 2 decades. And then he made another sculpture called Virtuoso. And this is a statue of a string trio. And it is displayed in Houston. Often, a string trio is part of a jazz band. He then created Cornet. It's a prop of the New Orleans World Fair. Now we're trying to find a connection between New Orleans and Houston. That's musical. Wow, we're just getting to going now, aren't we? And so if you look at those two connections, you have some interesting information. Unfortunately, your Wikipedia article does not give you the full story. And somebody should add a lot to this particular story because David Adicky's is famously being quoted as being inspired by none other than Coltrane. So I didn't pull this up, and so we may have a slight delay. But if you want to just go to your Google chat, like David Adicky's and Coltrane, it will tell you about some interesting information. So anyway, since I don't have that pulled up, I won't actually run through that. So ending this piece of information and adding to it the next article. We will actually look at the Sam Houston statue. Well, this is Adicky's creation. It says on the back that he created it. But look at the design in the vest. And then look at the box itself. Look at the pose of your Pokemon, with a couple of fingers in the air and one extended. Here's your cane. So just in looking at that, it should say, well, for scale, there's actually some people down here at the bottom as well to give you an idea of the size. Here is another of Houston's famed statues in the city of Houston. Here is a picture of Houston himself. And anyway, so there is some more information about the Houston connection. The next thing that's interesting to look at when it comes to David Adicky's and his connection to the uh, um, possible Coltrane connection, I'm going to share this one. I apologize for this article cutting me off, but I read this article, I guess, one too many times. But here's Adicky's next to one of his heads. And he famously had these Pokemon, or not Pokemon, but these presidential sculptures that he made. And if you go to the Houston Tribute to Courage monument in Huntsville, there's actually one of these heads. And believe it or not, it has red bulbous eyes. That's right. Right next to the statue that sits along the road, the interstate, is also one of these heads. And it's a head of Sam Houston, and the eyes are glaringly red, like the frog. Like the frog. And I don't know if that means that you should go look in that area by the head or not, but anyway, I think it's important. Well, anyway, I can't give, like I said, I can't read you that article. I just realized that that is blocked. So we'll stop sharing that and we'll move on to the next shareable item. Okay. Well, I guess that is all I actually have to share on this, but I would not discount. I guess what I'm saying is I would not discount the connection, possible connection to David Adicky's and the Pokemon chapter, and getting you to the right place in which to search for your item. Uh, I don't know how friendly my chat's going to be right now, but I will see if I can pull up the David Adicky's and Coltrane information. Okay. We don't want to be, okay, let's see. Share the screen. This might be the easiest way to do this. And I apologize for the delay uh, in the content. But here is the information that links to Coltrane. So it says David Adicky's, the renowned Houston artist, shared a deep creative affinity with jazz, particularly the music of John Coltrane. While Adicky's is most famous for his monumental sculptures, the musical connection is as follows. His early works often focused on musician and harlequins, drawing inspiration from the school of Paris. Oh, I think Paris was mentioned in this chapter as well. Hideki was a lifelong fan of jazz. He famously likened the process of painting to a musical performance, noting that he often listened to John Coltrane and Miles Davis while working in his Houston studio. He viewed jazz as the ultimate expression of modernism, fluid, complex, and larger than life, traits he sought to mirror in his own vibrant, Cubist-influenced paintings and massive steel and concrete. Virtuoso is a sculpture at the Lyric Center in downtown Houston. So, but I mean, based upon what John Collins Black has said lately about the inner city or the city solves, I think that you probably aren't looking in New Orleans or looking in Houston, but certainly Huntsville, Texas, would explain a lot of the rest of the information in the story, where he talks about, people clapping with their hands, small like this. Well, if they have handcuffs, if they have handcuffs on, it's going to be hard for you to clap, right? Because it's a prison. And then the door, the door, if you will, the whole door story is another prison, if you will, reference. So there's several prison uh, confined space type of references earlier in the book, and so I think if you tie this all together, you can get yourself to Huntsville, you can get yourself to the tribute to courage, and maybe look behind the statue somewhere, and it put you in the right place. And if that's not the place, maybe Coltrane can give you some other inspiration other than David Adicky's connection. But Adicky's brings together several different aspects from the French, from the New Orleans, from the Houston. I mean, he has a presence, if you will, in all of the areas in which John Collins Black uh, would have drawn some maybe inspiration. It's also important to understand that John Collins Black did live in the Houston area for a while. He would have had a connection to this area. He might have known some of these things, some of these places, and he was a musician trying to get his record label, his performance art out there. And so, if you look at the fact that he's a musician, Dickies enjoy a certain type of music, you might find that there is some connection here. All right, that's going to conclude these ideas concerning David Adicky's connection. And the other thing I will mention that his style of art is also indicative to a number of the artistic impressions that are in this book as well. And so, going from that perspective, there's a good portion. And I don't know if that song, that singing of the song, in the back of the book that's supposed to tie it all together, uh, could be in a jazz format, because I just don't understand. I guess I don't. I'm not a musician, so I don't understand the different genres of music. But indeed, if that lyrics could be set to a jazz type of tone, jazz type of arrangement, it would certainly. And maybe I should type that into the AI music generator. And no, I can't believe nobody's done this yet. I can't believe nobody's typed in that song at the back of the book into an AI music generator to see what would come out. I mean, I'm wasting time today. Maybe I'll try that later. But anyway, that concludes this. I like to keep these under 10 to 12 minutes. And good luck hunting.